Hello friends, it's Cherie here again with you today, this time with a layout using the gorgeous new Kate Kit from Felicity Jane. I've selected 3 of the papers out of the kit. Well, 2 of them are the pattern papers, 1 is a solid colour paper. With the solid colour paper, I'm planning on cutting that scallop strip off that edge and using that on the page. So I'll show you how I'm going to be doing that. I'm using these photos today for this page. It's about my daughter's new ukulele, and she's teaching herself to play this just by watching YouTube videos, and she's doing really well. So I really want to document this little interest of hers. I've got the really pretty glitter foam alphabet from the kit to use for my title, and I've already gone ahead and grabbed the letters for the word ukulele, and I always put them onto some baking paper just so that I can have them there ready to use, and I can work out where I want to position them on the page. So that's ready to go. I've also got a few of the die cuts that I've chosen for this page in particular. Some of the little stars here, these ones are white acrylic, they're so cute. My journaling's already printed, and I've already just attached some twine to that tag as well. So I'll get started and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I'm using that pinstripe paper as my background paper, and it already has a diagonal striped branding strip at the bottom of that. So I've trimmed the paper down to 12 by 12, and I'm adding that floral strip across the top. And now I've got this scalloped branding strip that I'm going to tuck underneath the edge of that floral paper. There was 2 shades of that coral pink, and I've decided to go with the darker shade for the scallop piece. So I'm just sticking down that floral paper now, just getting that nice and straight, and then I can go ahead and add that branding strip underneath. So just using double-sided tape behind that one. Okay, here we go. I'll just tuck that in there now. For some reason I found this so fiddly to get it into place, but I do get there in the end. There you can see that diagonal stripe at the bottom of that pinstripe paper there now, which is quite handy. I didn't have to add anything else to the bottom of that paper. It was already there, ready to use. Okay, so that's all stuck down now. So now I'm going to grab my sewing machine and add some stitching along the top and bottom of the page. So just getting that machine out now, and away we go. And there you go, the stitching's all done now, and I'm just trimming off those threads and running a thumbnail across that bottom edge of the floral paper just to rough up that edge a little bit and add a little bit of texture. You can see the stitching along the bottom as well. And now I can start adding my photos. So I'd like them roughly in the center, a little bit offset from one another, overlapping. I've got that tag with the twine just to go behind that first photo, and I'm going to add my title above that second photo. My journaling strips will go underneath that first photo. And then I'll just adjust those photos just so I've got enough space underneath the first one to fit all that journaling in. So that second photo has just been moved down a little bit. Okay, so now I can start sticking these down. I'm just using my tape runner behind that second photo, and I'll use some foam tape behind the first one to pop it off the page a little bit and add a little bit of dimension. So popping those strips on the back there now. There we go, and I'm going to stick the tag into place behind the photo before I add the photo to the page. So just making sure I get this nice and straight before I stick it down. Because it's got the pinstripe on that background paper, it'll be really obvious if it's crooked, so just taking a bit of time to make sure that's on there properly. So now I can add my title, and I'm just using some tape runner behind that die cut word. And that can go on there. And then my ukulele word can go on, and I'm going to use my T-square ruler just to make sure I get this word nice and straight. Makes it very easy to get this into the right position. And these letter stickers are just so pretty with that gold glitter. Really love these stickers. I think I'll be running out of these very quickly because I'll be using them all. Okay, a little bit fiddly, but we're getting there. Alright, and that E goes on, and we have our title. Alright, so next we're going to add those journaling strips. I'm just using a bit of that really thin double-sided tape behind each of those strips. And I like to put them upside down in order so that it's really easy. I can just pick each one up and stick them straight down onto the page. Okay, so those strips can go on there now. It does make it easy to get them nice and straight with that pinstripe background. Now the font I've used for my journaling on this is the Travelling Typewriter font. I think it's a free font you can download online. I tend to use it for just about all of my journaling for every page that I do because it's just one of my favourites. Okay, so those strips are on there now. And I'm going to add some stitching along each of those journaling strips. So I won't make you watch all of that. There we go, all done. So I just love adding that little bit of extra texture. Makes it look a little bit more interesting with all that stitching on there. So we're adding some more embellishments now. I've got that die cut label that's going underneath that ukulele word. I've got that beautiful rose die cut, which is perfect to go beside that first photo. I'm just popping some foam dots behind that now, just to add a bit of dimension. And on that goes. Now, what else have we got here? Oh, some more florals. So I'm just going to tuck that under the bottom corner of that photo. A little bit of layering happening there. So that's gone into place now. It helps to balance out the page with those two floral die cuts. Alright, so now I've got this pretty heart die cut piece, which I'm just adding some foam dots and foam tape to, and that's going to go to the left of my first photo above that rose. There we go, so that's just going to go on there. That's all stuck down, and now I've got these cute little acrylic stars. I've got 3 of those. So just scattering those in a nice triangular pattern, and to add a little bit more gold to that section of the page as well, I've got that little gold star out of the die cut pack, and down below I've got a gold foil label out of the die cut pack. So I've got a nice triangle with the gold embellishments, with the title, the little gold star, and that gold foil label for my date. So I'm quite happy with that placement, and now I'm going to start sticking things down. I'm using these micro dots to stick down those acrylic stars. It's like a sheet of really teeny little sticky dots. So you just press the piece onto that sticky paper and it gives a nice coating on the back of those pieces, and they just stick down really nicely. So now for this gold foil label down the bottom, I'm using a little white tag out of my stash, and I'm going to stamp the date onto that, and then I'm going to add that little tag on top of that gold foil label. So I'm just inking up the month and the year on this label because it's such a tiny little label, tiny little tag I should say. I'm just winding up that twine, and I'm using my tiny attachers just to staple that onto that gold foil label. A little bit fiddly, just making sure I catch that twine with the stapler. And on the back of that little tag I've got a bit of foam tape just to stick that down into place. Okay, so now I can add that to the page. And we're almost done. All I need to do is organize this twine into a nice flowy little design there, and I'll staple that into place also using my tiny attacher. So thank you for joining me today with this layout. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing this one come together, and I'll pop a link down below to the Felicity Jane store, and please let me know if you've got any questions. I'll be back again very soon with another project to share. Thanks for joining me, and bye for now.